Hi, welcome to Rick's Corner. I have a friend of mine with me today. He's a natural bodybuilder, and don't you guys all start to scream about natural and he's not natural. I'm so tired of hearing this crap. Whether someone's natural or not natural doesn't really matter to me. But if he says he is, he is. There's no reason to lie about this today nowadays. But it's my pleasure to have Adam Rose, and thank you for coming, Adam.
Of course.
This is going to be an experience.
Yeah.
So, you know, for years when I was a kid, I didn't know anything about drugs. I trained natural. I made my best gains training natural because my body was a virgin in that sense of the word. Not the other sense, but at least in that sense. And so anything I did, I got a pump and it just started to grow. And back in those days, this is long before your time, I drank a lot of milk. I was doing 3 quarts of milk a day. My mom says, I can't afford this milk bill anymore. I said, but milk is protein, milk's going to work. So, you know, that's how it goes. So, when you started training, you're 24 a couple of days ago.
Yeah, just turned 24.
How old were you when you started training?
I was about 18 when I officially went into this whole thing head on. Yeah.
And what inspired you to do this?
You know, I love to come up with something, you know, very amazing, you know, some type of story. But honestly, my ex-girlfriend, kind of left me for a bigger, stronger guy. Yeah. I was very skinny. Yeah. I was 150 pounds at 6'2". Okay. Super skinny. And she just, you know, went to another guy, you know, just for the fact that he was bigger and stronger. And, you know, and I said to myself, I got to change my ways. I got to become a bigger man.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah?
You don't need a girl like that.
Oh no, I've
very
learned.
Shallow.
Yes, I've learned to find what's good in the heart and go after the personality.
Exactly.
And,
I just did a show on Charles Atlas, he was born in 1893, but he was the first guy in the magazines to be. Charles Atlas was a muscle man, and he had these courses out where there'd be a guy on the beach with a girl, and the big guy kicks sand in the guy's face. Yeah. Go home and work out and come back. So this is your story.
Yeah.
It's kind of your story.
The sand was coming straight into my face.
There you go. And I think the easiest way out of that is just buy your own beach.
Yeah. Right.
So how did you start? What did you know anything what you were doing? Training?
I really didn't, because I played basketball all my life. So we weren't like the football team at school. We weren't lifting weights or anything like that. It was all cardio type of stuff, you know, making us run suicide, you know, cardiovascular. So when I got into it, I picked up a program off the TV, P90X. I don't know if you heard of it.
Sure I have.
Yeah, so it kind of, you know, gave me the foundations, the push-up variations, the pull-ups, you know, all the main, you know, type of movements. Yeah. And I did that for about a year, and then I finally said to myself, I got to pick up dumbbells that are more than 20 pounds, and I went to the local gym, and that's how it all got started.
You know, push-ups and pull-ups and dips. Yeah. You can build a body on that.
You really, really can. I owe, even to this day, my back, I owe it all to pull-ups. Truly. I'm a big believer in them. Yeah. Weighted pull-ups. There's no stopping yourself because you could constantly add weight to your own body weight.
You could constantly add reps. I used to go down to the beach when I was working out on days I was living in Bakersfield. I go to Santa Monica, and on the sand down there they have the whole rings and all the gymnastic stuff. And they have a dipping bar and they have a chinning bar. I would superset the chins and the dips for maybe 10 sets.
How good was the pump?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Especially with the ocean breeze hitting you, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hitting every body part at that time. All right, so then you graduated to weights.
Yes, I graduated to weights. I went to the local 24-hour fitness next to my house, and it was great because there were some areas in the gym where it was very quiet because I was still a little insecure. I didn't really know exactly what there's a lot of big guys at the gym.
Right. Everybody gets that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, I fought my fears. I went in, I put my head to the floor, didn't look at anybody else, music in, concentrated, and step by step every day got a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger. And it was exciting because the dumbbells went up to 120 pounds. Sure. I almost lost my mind. I was like, there's so much room to progress. I hope one day I could get to those 120s one day. Yeah. And, you know, it was great. It was great. The progress was...
Did you get to the 120s?
I do. I actually rep them out now. So I'm very excited about that. But these days, for me, it's not about weight anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's really not. In the beginning, it is. As a kid with your ego... And, you know, everybody wants to go to the gym and move weight, which is admirable, which is great if they're doing it, you know, safely. Yeah. But now it's more about the contraction of the muscle.
It's true. You have to work the muscle. But what's really funny is that I had a goal in Bakersfield when I was training to get to 300-pound bench press, and I did. And it was one of these bars that was bent.
Oh, man.
And this stuff is all crap. And you go to bench, and the bar would go like this, you know, right? And so when I moved down here and I started training Bill Pearls and then the Golds, I wanted to do the 150s, and I got up to the 150s before. Yeah. And I found that the 150s were actually easier than the 120s, and the 100s were easier than the 80s.
Yeah.
I can't explain it other than the balance of the way the dumbbell felt in my hand.
We had that same issue at our gym at Gold's. Like, you know, some of the dumbbells, the 120s are bent. The actual handle, it's totally bent.
Yeah.
So I really feel like the 130s are a little bit easier than the 120s in a way.
Yeah.
In a way. Obviously, weight is weight.
Weight is weight, but it's somehow the way the plates are on there, there's a certain balance to it. Like the 80 is easier than the 75. The 75 feels just a little bit awkward, but the 80s are balanced.
Yeah,
because they're all just 10s.
And it's the same plates going through. It's not a plate, it's like a 5 and a little 2.5 on the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so you structured your workout in body parts. Is that how you did it at the time?
You know, in the beginning, it was 3 times a week.
Okay.
Back to old school.
Works.
You know, every time.
Guys.
Every time. You know, till this day. It was, you know, it was chest and back, shoulders and arms, and legs.
That's what I do right now.
It worked.
It worked.
I mean, you work the major muscle groups, and it's great for beginners, you know, to build your foundation. I'm all about foundation. You got to, the biggest mishap is kids come to the gym and they say, I want to get muscular. And they jump on the cables, and they jump on the extensions, and they go to the machines.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong.
That's what I'm doing at my age now.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. But if you want to have that foundation, you got to do the big movements.
Well, you got to do them, and you got to do them correctly. And I got to see guys come to the gym, and they'll put like 5 plates on the bar and try to do shrugs, right? Yeah. They're doing this. And it's not doing anything.
Yeah, got to come all the way up, all the way
I can put 30, 45
down.
on each side and do 20 reps all the way, and I'll feel them like mad.
Yeah, up to the ears as far up as you could go. Yeah.
But that's a big misconception. I mean, heavy weights do give you size. Now, I was a heavy bench presser, 455, a heavy bench presser, but I don't think it gave me any shape in my chest. Yeah. It gave me the strength.
Exactly.
So when I'd switch to dumbbells and then dumbbell flies, it would definitely bring the shape out.
Yeah, you could contract it better.
Exactly, you could contract it better. But the heavy weight, I mean, today, and hope it never happens to you, like my joints are just thrashed from all that heavy stuff.
You know, that's why I try to take it slow. I try to I interval weeks. You know, I never go too light. I physically and mentally, I can't go more than 12 reps, because if I do, I feel, because I'm a natural guy, I don't take anything, so I feel like I'm not growing unless I'm around at least the 10 mark.
Yeah, you'll find your level.
Yeah, but I don't do 1 rep maxes every week. I just burnt out.
Let me ask you this: do you count reps?
I do because I like to start with a rep, and then as I go heavier with weight, I kind of mentally tell myself, you got to reach this at least. You know?
I did that when I was younger, but now I just do them. I just know where I'm about where I want to be, and that's it.
It's all about feeling with you.
And I'll tell you something else. On biceps, I always found, and this is really, really odd, that 7 reps was my key.
Yeah?
Why 7? Why not 6? Why not 8? Why not 10? But 7 was the mark.
Mine is 9.
Isn't that weird?
Mine is 9.
It sticks in your head. It's a very odd number, but it works.
Yeah, 9 always feels the best for me.
See, you have your number too.
Yeah. I wonder if other people have those numbers too.
I bet they all do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys
this is the first time I ever thought about that. Truly, 9 just slipped out of my mouth just like that.
Yeah, I saw it go. It went right over there.
Kind of hit the box.
Now, are you training 6 days a week?
Now, how'd you know that?
Because I know you.
Now I do 6 days. You know, I love the gym so much. Yeah. I try to do 7 days.
I know.
But I can't. I've tried. I failed. Last week, you know, I wanted to work out on my birthday. And that was, ironically, the 7th day. And I went and I had the worst birthday workout ever, because it was the 7th day. My body was burnt out.
Yeah.
You know, even if I don't do the same muscle.
Especially when you're natural, because your body doesn't recover as fast.
Oh, man, that's the only setback.
Now, being natural, and you guys are going to write on here, he's not natural, he's not. Yes, you are. And I believe you 100%.
Thank you.
The thing about being natural is you're making your gains on your own, and they're staying there.
Yes.
You know, they're not exaggerated. They're not pumped up where they go down when you go off something.
Yeah. They don't take off.
No, I'm not saying that someday you won't do something, because everybody at the reach a certain point going to have to compete, and that's just the way life is. Yeah. But you're building the foundation now, which will stay with you for a long time.
Truly,
you won't lose it.
Truly.
Guys who do the other stuff, they blow up 20 pounds and they lose 30 pounds.
Yeah. I've been, you know, small little increments throughout my life. You know, 1 pound over the course of, I don't know, 6 months.
Have you been tempted to try anything? Any anabolics?
You know what? I never truly have, because I constantly feel, maybe it's just me mentally, but I constantly feel like I'm getting something, you know, every time I go to the gym. I always go up, even if it's the smallest integer in weight. You know, if I'm curling 55 pounds one day, I try to do 55.25 if I can.
Okay.
You know, you see what I'm saying? So there's constant progress in a way. So I try, you know, I never really jumped to I just don't understand steroids. I never did the research myself. I'm constantly doing research on actual workouts than you know, steroids. So.
Well, it's like anything else. I mean, I'm not against them. I've taken plenty in my lifetime, and I've gotten them from the best guys in the business. And I had to when I was wrestling to keep up with the heavy guys. But I don't think, you know, it's not as bad as people think they are. And the news media blows it out of proportion.
Yeah.
You know, this guy died of steroids. How do you know that? Because it was on his shelf in his bathroom when he died.
Yeah.
No, he died from an overdose of pain pills and alcohol.
Yeah.
So they were always quick to blame. And then the guys out there who put it down on YouTube are the guys who probably don't even train half the time, and they don't make any gains anyway. So they gotta hate people for doing what they do.
Yeah.
It's a person's choice on what they want to do in life.
You gotta understand the concept before you start hating on something.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, with race cars, for example, it used to be stock car races.
Uh-huh.
The car was stock.
Uh-huh.
But then they changed the cam, and they changed this and changed that. Oh, it's still stock. It's just a little bit different cam. Then they got to nitro, and they got all these fuels that they were using. Well, it wasn't stock anymore. And then you couldn't compete in that because the guy next to you was doing something different.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the same thing in all sports. In bodybuilding, the top guys, they're taking hordes of stuff. And you can't compete against that and expect to even place or win unless you're doing what they're doing.
Truly. That's why I'm not competing.
Yeah. And competing means what? You get a trophy.
Yeah.
You know, back in those days when Arnold was, and we were all training together and those guys were competing, I was wrestling because I have some trophies over there somewhere full of dust and broken.
Yeah.
But it wasn't putting food on the table.
They're not much, you know, life helpers.
No, but the wrestling every night was paying me dollars.
Yeah.
So that money bought me food and bought my training gear and things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I used it towards that. Getting about eating, how many times a day do you eat?
As of this point, I'm eating 7 whole meals a day.
Whole meals?
Whole meals.
That's a lot of food.
And I exaggerate whole because they're not small meals. They are at least a cup to a cup and a half of rice and a breast to a breast and a half of chicken or meat. Or
every meal?
Every meal.
Are you
every
sick
meal.
of chicken yet?
I want to kill myself. I am so sick of food. We texted each other.
Yeah.
I told you, just talking to you for a split second, I had to mention the fact, Rick, I'm going to kill myself. I'm so sick of eating. But truly, that is the game. It is all about food, especially for someone natural.
It is.
You have to feed the body.
I was talking to my daughter. She's 24, and we go to El Pollo because it's chicken.
Yeah.
I went there 13 years, every day for lunch. And even my girlfriend says, how do you eat the same thing every day? I went to 4 and 20 restaurants. Every day I had a tuna fish omelet with cottage cheese. That actually worked really well for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really mind the tuna fish. I craved it. But at night it would be 2 burger patties on a grill with cheese and cottage cheese. And I began to crave that.
Yeah.
But chicken, I have to wash down with water to swallow it. It grows in my mouth. It gets bigger.
Yeah, man, the dryness. I barbecue too.
And barbecue's good. I switched to Sharky's. Do you go there?
I've seen a couple. I keep passing by on our way back
Well,
from the gym.
they have steak.
They do have steak.
And the steak is good.
Is it lean?
Salsa, it's lean.
Okay.
They give you that, you get some broccoli and some yams.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong?
Yeah, they also have brown rice too.
And brown rice.
Yeah. I got to start making my stops up there.
So 6 big meals a day is a lot of food.
7.
7.
I had to correct you. That's how much it hurts.
Don't ever correct me. Do you ever take supplements besides?
I like amino acids. I truly do. I'm a believer. You know, aminos, you know, date back to way back. You know, they've always been around.
Sure.
Maybe it's mental, but I like amino acids. I feel like, you know, feeding the body all day long, you know, to be honest with you, it just tastes good. I'm sick of water, so it's something to have in your drink throughout the day.
You know that you're doing a smart thing.
You know, feeding the body, I believe it is smart. You can't go wrong.
No.
I mean, it can't hurt.
And amino acids, they're easy to mix in the water.
They are. Quick dissolvement. I do 2 shakes, and it's boom. And it tastes good.
And you got to drink water anyway.
And I got to drink water anyway, so it's like a win-win. And I have some fiber in there, too. God knows I need it with all the food that I was taking.
Oh, no, I drink the Smooth Move tea at night with my girlfriend.
Oh, man, I got to start doing something.
I can't believe what that does the next morning.
I am hurting in the bathroom these days.
It's all the way down to Venice from that point on. Well, I wish you a lot of luck. Are you going to compete at all?
I'm probably never going to compete. If I ever reach a level that I could attain naturally, that could maybe make it to a physique Olympia or something like that, I might.
How about fitness modeling?
You know, right now, you know, as I get older and older, truly, I'm very old-fashioned. I only care about being successful enough to harbor a beautiful, well family. That's all I really care about.
Yeah,
I want to be successful.
But you're working hard for this. You got to put it to use.
Yes, you know.
And here's what I'm going to suggest to you.
Yeah.
Rich will tell you, and I'll tell you. Alex Ardente.
Yes.
Who does a lot of cover for magazines.
I've been told a couple of times.
He's a wonderful guy. I've known him forever. He's just like Rich. Let him have a look at you. And I'll tell Rich about it because he can get you covers of magazines.
That would be
nice. You're good enough, honestly, that you should be doing it. And it doesn't hurt to have those things on your wall. I have them in mine in there, and people come over, oh my God, you did all this and this. It's just part of your history.
Yeah, my future kids will like it, hopefully, you know. I just want them to love me and respect me as a father that I grew up to be. I just want to be a great father and a husband.
Well, I have 2 sons and a daughter and 4 grandkids. And I know I
got to catch up to you.
I know they enjoy what I do. Because behind my back they talk about me, but in front of me they don't give me any credit at all.
Yeah.
That's just Rick over there.
You got to remind them. You got to bring them in here and show them everything.
My daughter says, Dad, Rick, what? It's funny.
You got to remind them of who you are and what you've done in your life because you worked hard for it.
I know. I don't think they get what I really did.
They should. They should.
They do, but they don't really talk about it.
Yeah, the course.
I hear from their friends. Oh, I heard you. Your daughter talks about you. Your son talks about you all the time. Really?
Yeah.
Well, she never says hi to me.
Maybe just that stage in age they're too shy for you.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Well, I wish you luck. I thank you for coming. I think you got a great future.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it.
Now, if people want to reach you, on the internet, where can they?
Instagram is the best for me right now.
Which the name to use on Instagram?
It's Adam Rose Vision, like what you see to your future.
Yeah.
You know, I post pictures of my daily life, something like that. Not too specific because I like to keep my family as private as I can.
Right.
Out of respect to them, but you know, I like to throw little descriptions in there of my outlooks on life.
Right.
And people like it. They like my outlook and my views and me trying to be successful and me trying to create an inspiration for everyone else.
You motivate the rest of the world.
Exactly. Because I like to
be.
see other people's success as much as I do my own. I truly don't feel like competition.
You know, and we're going to close because I'm running out of time, but I like working with, I like doing this for other people and having people like you on. Leroy Colbert was a legend in bodybuilding. He had the first 21.5-inch arm, first black man on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. He's 82 now.
Wow.
He lives in Nevada alone, and he's not doing a whole lot. He's a wonderful guy. He used to be up here at the Health Food Story all night. We used to sit and talk to him. So I did a tribute to him the other day on here because I think people deserve it.
Yeah.
And he didn't know I did it. And he calls me at 2:30 in the morning. I'm sound asleep. I didn't answer the phone. Next day, he's almost in tears. You don't know what you did to my heart by doing this for me. Well, that made me feel good because I did it for somebody else.
It truly does.
It's not about you. It's about them.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the best feelings you could have, to know that you've inspired someone and know that they've become a success or pushed a little further that one day for the thought of you.
Right.
You know, so it's a beautiful thing. It truly is.
If you had to tell people out there one thing, a motivational thing or some good point in time or whatever you think is going to motivate them, what would you tell them?
You know, you have to, if you were to use some type of motivation, make sure it's something powerful. Truly, something powerful. Not something that could, you know, evaporate in 2 weeks or even a year. Think of something that could truly drive you for years and decades, you know.
Yeah, long term.
Something long term, exactly. The longevity of the sport, you know, whatever the case is, whatever you want to use.
Right. You know, there's enough sadness in the world. There's enough things going on with terrorists and all that.
Yep.
And at my age, you know, I have a lot of friends that have passed away, but I get up every morning. It's I'm in injuries and this and that. I eat. But I look forward to the day because each day has its own thing.
Yeah.
And I try to wake up with a smile. If you keep a smile on your face all day long, you can't be mad when you're smiling. You just can't be mad. So wherever you go and you greet somebody and you have a smile, it's going to make your day and it's going to make their day.
Yeah.
And if you go to the gym, it's going to even have a better workout.
Exactly.
And if you smile when you're eating the chicken, you might even enjoy it.
That's when the fish and the steak and everything else you can constantly get rid of the chicken.
You get the oatmeal cookies at night.
Oh,
Thank you, Adam, so much.
Of course, my pleasure.
We'll have to do another one, and you guys stay tuned for more Rick's Corner because I'm bringing you guys like this. Another one tonight.
It's rickdrason.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.